Welcome. I'm Colleen Casa, founder of Satmom, SATMOM.com. Um, so, on a journey to return to vitality and my own inner rhythm, I created the lunar living space. And my beautiful astrologer friend, Eleni Prinsloo, is our resident astrologer in lunar living. So, today we're here to give you the weekly rundown as far as the moon, the stars, the sun, and what is up energetically for us this week. Thank you so much for being here. And this is Eleni Prinsloo.
Thank you, Kalina. Okay, so let's jump right in. So every week we come together and we discuss the week's astrology. We were doing it bi-weekly, but we've decided to move it to a weekly pace so that everybody can benefit from it, and then we can kind of track it week by week by week. So on Monday, the 15th of June, we have the Gemini New Moon. The 19th of June, we will have Chiron entering Taurus, and then on the 21st, we have the solstice with the sun entering Cancer. So this is a pretty big week. It's an eventful week astrologically, and it's really exciting as well. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. There's a lot of things that are going to be transpiring that we want to try and capitalize on as much as possible this week. So we're going to jump right in. And so let's talk about the new moon. So this is going to be all the way through up until give or take around about Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This new moon is going to be very active for all of us. So when we think about the new moon, we know that a new moon is a rebirth. It is a moment, it is an opportunity for something new to come alive within us. And Gemini specifically is about communication, learning, curiosity, information, the mind, the perceptions that we have, the beliefs that we have, the choices that we make, how we speak, how we listen. And so this new moon is going to start to ask us to notice what beliefs and thoughts and stories, conversations, labels, identities, assumptions are ready to be rewritten. So we are going to start to notice more and more and more that the reality that we experience is largely shaped by the stories that we tell ourselves. And so this new moon is asking to become aware of the shadow expression that we find ourselves in and noticing how to be within the dualistic nature of Gemini. So the shadow side of Gemini is about overthinking, anxiety, mental overwhelm, information overload, gossip, talking too much, scattered attention and scattered focus. The higher expression is being curious, level-minded, level-headed, being flexible in our thinking, knowing how to consciously communicate, knowing when to listen. And so it's really inviting us to become more aware of all of these different mental programs that we have running beneath the surface, right? And so if you look at the sign of Gemini, Gemini represents the twins, right? It's the two brothers. And from an evolutionary and esoteric perspective, this is the personality and the soul, because in the story and in the mythology, the one brother ascended whilst the other brother went into Hades, or the underworld. And so the one was in the shadow, the one is in the light. And so the one is the ego consciousness, the one is the higher soul self-expression. And so the question becomes, what voice are you listening to? Can you start to discern and define and differentiate for yourself, what voice am I truly listening to, and how do I start to hear the difference between my soul's voice and my mental ego chatter voice? So one voice can speak through fear, whilst another voice can speak through truth. One voice can speak with limitation, another one can speak with possibility. And so this new moon will be asking us to learn the separation, the differentiation, the being able to distinguish between the soul speaking and the mind and the mental speaking to us. And so really taking some time Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to start to discern and hear the voice of your ego, your soul, your consciousness, your mind, your beliefs, old, outdated voices that aren't yours. And so starting to pay attention to what is the repeating cycle, what is the repeating story, what is the repeating beliefs and habits and patterns and things that we tell ourselves. Are they mine? Are they helpful? Are they supportive? So really paying attention to this, because all of the different aspects that are happening during this particular new moon, we've also got Mercury with sextile to Mars, and this is really where our thoughts become action. Our words can gain momentum, right? Our move. And so if we are unconscious, if we're listening unconsciously and we're only listening to that voice of fear and limitation and outdated beliefs and stories, we take action on the limitations, on the lower mind, on the limited beliefs, versus taking action on the higher beliefs, on the soul's truth, and hearing that soul's voice so that we can move forward and we can actually do something and not just think about it. So it's really a really good time to write, launch projects, be able to have difficult conversations. It's a good time to make business decisions if you want to think about where you want to pivot or redirect, or where do you want to move your business into. If you want to take up a new hobby or a new study, this would be a good time to do that as well. We've also got Mercury in a square to Saturn. So again, this is being able to discern and notice these limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, the fear of speaking up, the fear of speaking out, using your voice, speaking your truth, old conditioning, old beliefs, all of these kinds of different things. But the square is asking us and saying, okay, where do we need to mature our thinking? Where do we need to shift and change and let the old ways of thinking dissolve so that the new ways of thinking can emerge? We've also got Venus in the conjunction with Jupiter at the moment. We've been speaking about this for a while. This is incredibly beautiful. It's a really beautiful time to be more hopeful, more generous, more forgiving, more loving. Venus is also in a sextile to Uranus, which is unexpected blessings and opportunities and connection. And, it's a beautiful kind of surprise. Love, love can surprise you. Remain open, okay? Miracles arrive for you when you open your heart. And so I open my heart to receiving the miracles that the universe has in store for me. Make that your mantra Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Make that your mantra for the whole week. I open my heart to the miracles that the universe has in store for me. I accept and I receive my miracles that the universe has in store for me. Whatever you want to work with in that way. Venus is also in a trine to Neptune. So again, there's a lot of Venusian activity on this Gemini new moon as well. And when Venus is in a trine with Neptune, our compassion can increase, our intuition can increase, our creative inspiration and capacities can increase. And we can actually remember our interconnectedness. Venus is also in opposition to Pluto. And so this is especially old control patterns that we have around the beliefs that we have shaped around relationships, right? The relationship control patterns, the scarcity consciousness, the fear of loss, the emotional dependencies that we still have, the ways that we want to control others. So noticing these thoughts, beliefs, stories that shape our reality, and then listening to these internal narratives so that we can let go of the old, transform, transmute, clear something, and reshape something in the way that is actually meant for us, right? But that is helpful, that is supportive, that supports our evolution, our growth. And so collectively on this new moon, Monday, Wednesday, all the way, I would say the whole week, but again, let's kind of put it within a bracket for the week. So Monday to Wednesday, it's change your story, open your heart, release control, take action on the life that your soul wants to create. Okay, focus on these things during that time. You can journal, you can make notes, you can speak to certain things, you can have the conversations, pay attention to the stories, the beliefs, the outdated ways and means and methods that you still have perhaps beliefs around what you inherited from your family. Maybe there are beliefs that you have inherited from old relationship wounds in society. Remember that Venus plays a big role. Venus is self-love and self-worth and governs the heart. And Gemini rules Mercury. So we really want to be able to notice the stories so that we can change them. We want to release control and stop micromanaging the universe and our soul and our direction, but instead be open so that we can actually match our thoughts and our actions, and so that our actions and our thoughts can support one another, and then we can move forward. Okay. And then on Thursday, the 19th, I think it's Thursday, let me double check that. Yeah, Friday the 19th, Taurus, Chiron will enter Taurus. So this is a biggie. I'll be doing a separate video speaking specifically to Chiron in Taurus, because I think that this is a really, really, really big conjunction for us collectively. But this is massive, okay? Because Chiron changes signs roughly every 8 years. And Chiron represents our deepest wounds, but also our purest and deepest medicine. And so Chiron impacts both us individually and also collectively. And so the collective wound that we have been carrying and feeling and experiencing is shifting. And so with Chiron and Aries, a lot of wounds around identity, individuality, confidence, belonging, and self-worth, as in me, my, I, the individual, came to the surface, where we felt disempowered, where we felt disconnected, where we struggled with who am I, what am I, where am I going, what is my purpose. I don't feel confident within myself. And so for the last 8 years, we've all gone through this really big spiritual initiation as to come home to self, come back to self, come back to the true authentic self, and let go of all the other noise that's been going on. That we've been just sort of living kind of like blindly for the last couple of years. And so now when Chiron shifts, the wound shifts, and we're actually the wound is starting to shift towards Taurus, which is going to really hone in on our worth. So, am I enough? Do I deserve abundance and pleasure? Can I trust life? Am I safe? What truly has value? So these are things and experiences that we may all be going through in our own unique and individual ways. So issues and problems and experiences and initiations around money, resources, food, body, pleasure, nature, and our self-esteem and our self-worth can come up, so that we can start to actually see where we still hold wounds around that belonging, around our self-esteem, our resources, the way that we treat our food, the way that we relate to the earth, the way that we relate to our bodies, our pleasure, our sensuality. Where are we fixed? Where are we stubborn? Where do we avoid taking action? All of these things are going to start to kind of come up, and it's going to start to show us places within ourselves where we still hold onto these wounds, so that we can extract the medicine, so that we can do the healing, and so that we can actually become more whole and more embodied in these different places and in these different areas, right? So It's looking at where are we possessive, where are we stuck in a sense of comfort, where we've grown into a comfort zone, where we are perhaps creating false security and safety. And so we actually are being invited to remember and learn the lesson that security or safety is not something that I own, and it is not something that is found outside of myself, but it is something that I embody. Safety and security are found within me. That is the higher wisdom. And so we're going to be working on this, but like I say, we are going to be talking a little bit more about this in another video. I really invite people to kind of do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I would really work with this Chiron and Taurus energy, reconnect with nature, be in the simplicity. Remember that Chiron is going to be stationed at 0 degrees of Taurus. Again, this is the archetype in its most potent form. It's the pregnant zero. It is the void. It is the place of all possibility. So how you move into this transit matters. So reconnect to nature. Spend time with your body, your senses. Be present, slow down, be in the simplicity of the experience. Because after years of living in our mind and the digital world and all of these different things and technology and la 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 la, we can't heal through screens and more information. We have to really heal through embodiment. So we are, the closest thing that we have to us is nature. Again, reconnecting to this cyclical nature of life, spending time in nature, taking care of the body, understanding that our worth is not something external. And so taking some time to journal maybe on what am I worth if nothing external validates me. So feeling into, there's nothing in the external world that was giving me validation. What am I worth? What remains? What is left? What am I worth if nothing external validates me? Really feel into that, because I can guarantee you that quite a lot of little shadows and little subconscious beliefs and things are going to start to, you're going to be able to start to see little hints and little nuggets of systems and beliefs and things inside of yourself that say to you, oh, I might not be worthy if I don't have this thing. I'm not worthy if I don't have success. I'm not worthy if I don't have partnership. I'm not worthy if I don't have love. I'm not worthy if I don't have kind words or compliments or affirmations. I'm not worthy if I don't have a lot of money. I'm not worthy if I don't take care of my body and go to the gym every 5 minutes. All of these different stories, right? Start to notice them, especially this week. Sorry, I do apologize. My dogs are going to start barking any minute and it is going to be noisy. So I apologize in advance. There they go. So this week, I really invite you to practice receiving. So open up, look at the beliefs, use the Gemini qualities, right? The mind, the communication, the thinking, the beliefs. Open that heart with Venus and all of these beautiful aspects so that we can transform and empower and transmute the Chiron Taurus wounds that will start to surface and come up, so that we can reconnect to the true authentic expression of our sense of self-worth and what our value system is and wants to be and wants to evolve into. Practice receiving help, receiving love, receiving support, so that we can stop proving that our worth is something outside of us, and we can actually start to feel this in our body and we can start to embody it. This is where the healing begins. It is our healing, our Taurus Chiron healing begins when we stop proving our worth and we stop looking for reasons to prove to us that we are worthy of love, of acceptance, of belonging, of abundance, of success, of whatever. And we actually start to embody it. I'm worthy because I am. There is no, if I have this, then I'm worthy. And then on Sunday, we have the Cancer Solstice, which is really beautiful. It's the solstices are always really amazing. They're always kind of, on the cardinal points. And this will be Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And this, obviously, in the northern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice. In the southern hemisphere, it's the winter solstice. This is a turning point. It's a sacred portal. From an esoteric astrological perspective, Cancer is the doorway into incarnation, because this is the sign where the spirit enters into the home, the family, the roots. And so you might want to spend Saturday and Sunday kind of pondering upon, what foundations am I building my life upon, and what foundations have I built my life upon, so that we can start to kind of notice and see, okay, these are the values, the beliefs, the ideas, the ideologies that I've built my life upon so far. Half of them are not mine, half of them are owned or inherited by family, culture, roots, ancestry. And this is what I want to build my life upon moving forward. That's more in alignment with who I am now versus who I was or who I think I should be. And so Cancer also reminds us that, without inner nourishment, that sense of achievement and success becomes hollow, right? Cancer also governs our emotional memory, ancestral line, heritage, the inner child, the inner family field. You can call it your family parts, your family constellations. And this particular solstice is really good to work with the father wound, the mother wound, inner child, emotional conditioning, healing, reparenting, creating new emotional security patterns and sets within the nervous system. So take some time this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, really slow down, reflect, receive, take care of yourself, nourish yourself, and allow your roots to grow deeper before expanding your branches, meaning go into the depths of your body this weekend. Really, if you're somebody that likes to do somatic work, really go into that base of that spine, go into the hara, the dantian, go into the base, the thighs, the yoni, the hips, the pelvic floor. Root down through that part of the body. Go down and deep 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 and go into that part of the body, into that part of the body, into that part of the body. And then start to breathe light into that space. Start to breathe healing into that space. Start to feel what is there, so that you can start to deepen your roots into your new energy, into your new beliefs, your new ideas, your new ideologies, your new sense of worth. And then from there, you can continue to grow and expand. So the Gemini New Moon allows us to connect with the mind and see what is really sitting there. Chiron in Taurus helps us to open the heart, to start to heal our relationship with worth. And the Cancer Solstice opens the relationship within our home and our family. And so if you are somebody that is walking a healing path, or receiving any kind of, or maybe not receiving, but maybe doing any kind of inner transformation, this week is less about manifesting more and more about becoming clear vessel for what the soul has been trying to kind of create all along. And so really just clearing your central channel. So a couple of practices that you can play with and use on this new moon is you can journal, notice the beliefs, write them down, feel back into your childhood, your past, your history. What are some of the narratives or the repeating stories that you've heard? Oh, life is hard, I've got to work hard, nothing comes easy, nothing is free, money doesn't grow on trees, like I'm only worthy if I achieve A, B, and C, I can only be happy if I have the car or the house or the whatever, like whatever the stories are. right? Whatever the beliefs are, whatever the thing is for you specifically, feel into that, journal on that, become aware of that so that you can make the unconscious conscious, right? Because when you bring awareness to something, it already shifts the energy and it already starts to heal and actually change the frequency. So go into that and then come into your body, reconnect with nature, open up those lower hips, or go into the depths, go into the roots, go into into especially working with the base chakra and the sacral chakra at this time would be incredibly beneficial and helpful, because you can actually heal a lot of ancestral wounds and inherited patterns and things that are there energetically as well as consciously or unconsciously and subconsciously. So really doing practices that take you into these parts of your body, and then also obviously allow yourself to receive, take care of yourself, nurture yourself, and look at your sense. What is your relationship with worth? Signs, just to give every sign a quick overview of what this. My coffee's finished. What this new moon is bringing in. All right, so Gemini rising for you, again, this is going to be in your first house, obviously your house of self. This is a time to reinvent yourself, right? You're being asked to release all of these outdated versions of who you think you are and embrace a more authentic expression of your voice and your purpose. Chiron will be entering your 12th house. It's going to start the cycle through your 12th house. So this will help you to heal unconscious fears, wounds, and patterns of self-sabotage. This is not a once-off. This is an 8-year journey, but you can start the process and align yourself with a higher frequency this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Cancer rising. For you, the Gemini new moon is going to be in your 12th house. This is your house of rest, of closure, of spirituality, of hidden objects, subconscious beliefs, desires, lost things. This is a time to release old stories, forgive the past, move forward, prepare for a significant personal rebirth. Chiron entering Taurus will be in your 11th house. It's going to start around your friendships, community, belonging, your future visions, goals, dreams, and ambitions, hopes and desires and wishes. And you will also notice that over time, your tribe, your community will change as your sense of worth becomes also it deepens and you become more of your authentic self, right? Leo rising. For you, this Gemini new moon energizes your 11th house. This is going to be your dreams, your goals, your community. Again, projects, collaborations. This is an opportunity for you to network and hang out with friends and the greater public. Chiron moving into Taurus, this will be your 10th house of career. You might find yourself overcoming fears of visibility, around fears around visibility or success or leadership or recognition. So you may also change careers and find yourself shifting the trajectory of the direction that you want to take your life in that way. Virgo rising. For you, the Gemini new moon is about your 10th house of purpose, career, and achievements. Old professional opportunities are closing and new opportunities are being activated. Chiron entering Taurus opens the 9th house, so that for you is going to be about healing limiting beliefs so that you can expand into greater faith and wisdom and teaching and traveling and opening and broadening your perspective. Libra rising. For you, this Gemini new moon will be activating your 9th house. Again, expansion, learning, spirituality, travel, foreign culture, higher truth. You're being invited again to expand and broaden your perspectives, your horizons, exploring new paths, and allowing your balanced sense of self to think differently. So meaning maybe it's, as a Libra, maybe your thinking is dual in nature. You'd always kind of like seeing things from both perspectives. So this might help you to see things from a completely third-party perspective, and you can get deeper wisdom. The Chiron entering Taurus will be around your 8th house, so that's intimacy, trust, vulnerability, shared resources, deeper emotional empowerment, death, um, sex, and the mystery and the taboo. So these wounds around sexuality, inheritance, death, intimacy, these areas of life are going to be lit up for you, and you start to bring healing to these places, especially when it comes to healing wounds around being vulnerable or wounds around not being able to trust. Scorpio rising, for you, this is going to be in your 8th house of transformation. The Gemini New Moon will be activating your 8th house. So this is going to be, again, a healing and a rebirth where you can let go of emotional baggage that you may have inherited, again, subconsciously, unconsciously from other people. Chiron entering Taurus in your 7th house of relationships is going to start to bring through opportunities to heal patterns around partnership, fear of commitment, trusting, and self-worth within relationships, reminding yourself that the other person is not there to complete you. And when you are whole and complete within yourself, the other person is somebody that you are in a relationship with. It is not the other person needing to fill you, heal you, make you whole, right? Sagittarius, for you, this is going to be, the Gemini is going to be in your 7th house of partnerships. So agreements, collaborations can emerge, dynamics, new relationship dynamics can start to form. Again, with everything that we've discussed up to date, your ideas, beliefs around relationship can start to shift and change, and you might be able to see where you're still holding on to outdated beliefs pertaining to relationships and what does it mean to be in a relationship with, close, intimate relationships, and also work and friends and family and marriage and all those things, right? Chiron and Taurus will be moving through your 6th house, so that's going to be work, health, everyday chores, tasks, responsibilities, routines, your relationship with being productive, your relationship with how am I of service. All of these areas where you overextend, overgive, all of these things are going to come into play for you. So this will help you to build sustainable habits that support your well-being, where there is more balance and you can be of greater service when you are not in sacrifice. Service doesn't equal sacrifice. Okay. Capricorn rising, for you, this Gemini new moon will be in your 6th house. So again, health, daily routines, and service. Again, this is a good time to look at the beliefs and the ideas and the constructs and the concepts that you have of what does it mean for me to be in service. How am I managing my everyday chores, tasks, and responsibilities? What are the beliefs that I have around controlling the home and doing the everyday chores and tasks and things that I need to do, so that I can create new, healthier patterns and places and spaces and beliefs and ways that I can move through my everyday life, right? Taurus will be, this Chiron Taurus will be in your 5th house. So again, this will help you to reconnect to your joy, your self-expression, your inner child, romance, creativity, and also show you wounds that you still hold within yourself where you are stopping and blocking yourself from experiencing joy, being connected to life, and where you've been maybe too serious, Capricorn. We know Capricorns tend to be a little bit serious. So the invitation is it's going to start to be really painful if you keep ignoring your inner children. Okay. Aquarius rising, for you, this is going to be in your 5th house, the Gemini new moon. Again, creativity, passion, romance, self-expression. It's just a really good opportunity to kind of look at the beliefs that I have around what does it mean for me to be in joy? What does it mean for me to be, do I have permission to have fun? Do I have permission to be silly? Do I have permission to be childish? Can I be stupid and run around naked in the garden? Like, whatever it is for you, right? Allow yourself to kind of sit with that and then look at the ways that you block and limit yourself. Chiron is going to be moving through your 4th house. So this is really big, specifically because it's going to activate deep healing around home, family, ancestry, country, inheritance, and also childhood conditioning. So a lot of childhood wounds can come up that you need to start to integrate and heal and transform. and bring into a new frequency and into a new future version of you. Pisces, for you, this is going to be in the Gemini is going to be in new moon. Gemini new moon is going to be in your fourth house. So thinking about, your home and your family dynamics, inner emotional worlds, all of these different things. So noticing the beliefs that you have there, the beliefs that you've inherited, the ideas that you have around home. What does it mean to have a home? All of these different things and areas. Look at this and work with these energies this week to help you move through this. And then it's going to also, the Chiron Taurus will be around your third house, and that is going to be around communication, self-expression, learning, and finding confidence in your voice. All right, so Aries rising for you, this is going to be, the Gemini new moon will be in your third house of communication, learning, networking, siblings, short distance travels. So new ideas, conversations, and opportunities, okay, are going to come through for you. Really give yourself permission to start to speak. Look at your speaking. Look at what you're believing. Look at the beliefs that are creating your reality. This is a really, really good opportunity for you to kind of feel into this, okay? Chiron entering Taurus will be around your second house. This is bang on. Self-worth, money, abundance. This is everything in that Taurus is in the house that rules and governs this. And so this is really going to be 8 years of reevaluating your relationship with worth and money and abundance and receiving. So Taurus rising for you, the Gemini new moon is going to be in your second house of money, resources, values, and self-esteem. So this is perfect. Use the Gemini new moon and look at the beliefs, the ideas, the stories, the narrations that you still have. New financial opportunities may be coming in your way as well. You may start to shift and prioritize different things, and your finances can start to kind of look differently. The way that you receive also starts to shift and change if you allow it to. And then Chiron will be entering your first house. This is going to be a profound healing cycle with you and your identity. So for Taurus risings, the Aries Chiron was happening in your 12th house. It was predominantly subconscious, unconscious, hidden, lost, suppressed, repressed things were starting to come up to the surface around you, the individual. Now it's really being like that embodied version of all of these wounds. And so these old wounds around being visible, being authentic, being yourself is going to become stronger, and you can learn to embody your true self and share your true self, having just gone through a whole psychological hidden, lost, and kind of like, yeah, really deep and in-depth rebirth. And now you get to embody this new energy. So collectively change the story, heal the worth, look at the relationship that you have with worth, and then, really focus on building a life that feels like home. And so aligning your thoughts, your values, your emotional foundations, so that the next chapter of your life can be built from a place of authenticity, stability, and your deeper soul's truth. All right, everyone, that is it. That is the Gemini new moon. So thank you all so much for being here. And if you have any questions, please do drop them in the comments. Like, subscribe, say hi, share far and wide if you find this valuable or interesting, or if you have any insights or extra additional information that you would like us to bring through for you, you're welcome to share that. And thank you for being here. And I wish you a good week and a good new moon.